So, good afternoon, everyone. In lieu of having a chair for this meeting, as deputy clerk, I'll be opening the meeting right now. And the time is 3:02. And I'm going to look to Councillor McPherson if she can read the land acknowledgement.
The land on which the Budget Committee meets today is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabeg, and Attawandaronk, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation peoples, many of whom continue to live and work here today. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties and is within the land protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. Today, this gathering place is home to many Indigenous peoples made up of First Nation, Inuit, and Métis. The Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement should remind us of our responsibility to ensure the Dish, the territories on which we live and work, is never emptied, and that we take care of the land and its inhabitants in a way that ensures its future sustainability.
Thank you, Councillor. So as I said in the beginning, we do not have a chair right now. We also do not have a vice chair for the Budget Standing Committee. So the first item on the agenda will be to appoint a chair and vice chair for the remainder of this term of the Budget Standing Committee. Councillors Dodge and Stevens have expressed an interest in serving as chair. Does anyone else wish to put their name forward to serve as chair? Okay, seeing none. And just for the benefit of everyone in the room, Councillor Ratzlaff said he will be joining on Zoom, but he is not yet currently on Zoom, just so everyone is aware. So right now, Sarah will be passing around ballots to vote for the role of chair. As a reminder, the results of the ballot will be listed in the minutes for the meeting. So once you have marked your ballot, please hand it over to CAO Oakes and we will calculate. Oh, and actually it appears as though Councillor Ratzlaff has just joined online. Councillor Ratzlaff, just so you know, we are just now doing the vote for the role of chair. So if you can, please email myself and Sarah, the person you wish to vote for chair. The individuals who put their name forward are Councillor Stevens and Councillor Dodge. So if you can email us your vote for chair, that would be great.
All right, thanks.
Once we have the name of the person for chair, we'll then vote to appoint them as chair, and then we will proceed to do the same for the election of vice chair. And once that's done, then the chair will then come up to the dais and take the Budget Standing Committee through the rest of the agenda for today.
And the vote's just going to Evan, correct?
Can you say that again, Councillor?
The vote's going to yourself, your email address, when I email my vote?
Well, you didn't put your name forward to run though as chair, so you know you can't vote for yourself.
Correct. I'm asking my vote though.
Yep.
For whoever I want to be the chair goes to your email address.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes. So through the ballot, Councillor Stevens has been nominated to be the chair. Can I get someone to move that motion, please? Oh, I apologize. It is Councillor Dodge. I apologize for that. Math is not my strong suit. That's why Christina's here. I apologize for that. It is Councillor Dodge. Can I get someone to move that motion, please? Councillor McPherson and Mayor Cisco. And we just need a recorded vote now on this. I'm just going into voting mode now. And Counselor McPherson.
Yes.
Counselor Phillips.
Yes.
Counselor Ratzlaff.
Yes.
Counselor Stevens.
Say no.
Counselor Dodge.
Yes.
And Mayor Cisco.
Yes.
And that's carried. And now we'll do the vote for vice chair. Counselor Stevens has put his name forward, as has Counselor McPherson. Does anyone else wish to put their name forward at this time? Okay, seeing none, so Sarah is passing around the ballots for that vote. And Counselor Ratzlaff, if you can email in your vote for that as well, that'd be great.
Sent.
And through the results of the ballot, the person appointed for vice chair is Counselor McPherson. Can I get someone to move that motion, please? Counselor Dodge. Can I get a seconder? Mayor Cisco. And on that vote, Counselor Dodge,
Yes.
Mayor Cisco,
Yes.
Counselor McPherson,
Yes.
Counselor Stevens,
Yes.
Counselor Ratzlaff,
Yes.
Counselor Phillips,
Yes.
and that's carried. And Counselor Dodge, if you can come up to the dais, then you'll take us through the agenda for the rest of the meeting.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my first order of business is a chair's report, which I actually don't have, other than I would like to thank you for having faith in me, doing this very important job as the chair of the Budget Committee. So thank you very much for that. So, okay, so we're going to have the adoption of the agenda. And there are no amendments to the agenda. And can I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Councillor Phillips? And a seconder? Councillor McPherson? All in favor? It's passed. And there are no minutes to adopt. Are there any declarations of interest? Any declarations of pecuniary interest? Okay. Thank you for that. So I need a motion to move consent reports. No reports are being requested to be moved from consent. Would anyone like to move an item from consent? Okay. Now, do you read the blue part? Okay.
Okay, so this afternoon's consent agenda includes item 9.1, Financial Management Services Director, 2025 first quarter operating financial update. 9.2, Financial Management Services Director, Capital Project Report for the first quarter ended March 31st, 2025. And item 9.3, Financial Management Services 2025 Grant Funding Update.
Can I have someone to move the motion, please? Councillor McPherson? And this is now.
I'm just looking for my vote sheet on this one. So it's looking at this one. Yep. So on the consent, Councillor McPherson,
Yes.
Councillor Phillips,
Yes.
Councillor Ratzlaff,
Yes.
Councillor Stevens,
Yes.
Mayor Sisko,
Aye.
and Chair Dodge,
Yes.
and that's carried.
So now we're at item 10.1, Financial Management Services Recommended Update to the 2026 Schedule of Rates and Fees. And prior to discussing the report, I will look to Cynthia, Gensevsky, that's a test, thank you, to provide a presentation on the recommended update to the 2026 Schedule of Rates and Fees. Can I have a counselor to move the staff recommendation? Not yet?
Thank you and good afternoon, everyone. Today we are presenting the recommended update to the 2026 rates and fees. There are several laws and acts that impact rates and fees, but perhaps the most dominant is Section 391 of the Municipal Act. This act outlines policy and procedure considerations for establishing, reviewing, and implementing user fees. How do we get to the rates and fees we currently have at the city? The original multi-year 2024-26 rates and fees was prepared by staff and approved by council in June of 2023. An update to this was then brought forward and approved by council in June of last year. And now today we have this opportunity to recommend updates to the current 2026 rates and fees. The principle behind charging rates and fees is that goods and services provided by the city are charged directly to the individuals that benefit from the service. We have a few main goals for this update. We are working towards recovering costs associated with the services offered by the community utilizing them. We want to ensure that we offer services to the community that will benefit them. By taking a look at the data from past year, we can better determine which services are not being utilized and therefore should be removed from the schedule, as well as create new offerings to the community, seeing that will better serve them and provide them with additional options. We also want to provide clearly defined services with the fee that is being charged so that the community understands what they are receiving for the rate that they are paying. There are a couple of reasons we would like to highlight on why we have these proposed changes. The first being that we are experiencing increases in many areas such as the cost of supplies and materials, fuel costs, insurance premiums, supplier costs being passed down, and rental fees. Again, this directly relates with our goal of assisting with cost recovery. The other main reason for the recommended change is consolidation. There are many current fees that are very specific to a certain group of individuals that we would like to have broader categories for, which will be less of a burden to administer going forward, and therefore we will be more efficient to our operations while still providing appropriate options to our community. Consolidation of fees will also allow us to be more streamlined with our competitors and better align us with our user expectations. So how did we go through this process? Our roadmap to rates and fees updates is as follows. Finance reached out to departments who then reviewed their current rates and determined the areas that needed adjustments based on cost recovery, and by analyzing the community's utilization of services over the past year. The departments then submitted their requested updates to Finance. Finance then reviewed all requests, followed up with departments to clarify anything or if additional information was needed, and then summarized all of the updates. The report, along with the appendices detailing each of the updates, is then brought forward to Council. Based on the additional review of current rates and fees for 2026, departments have identified some opportunities for new fees. Included within the 12 recommended new fees are memberships that combine various activities for families to enjoy into one instead of a pay-as-you-go model. While looking at the cost drivers as discussed in a previous slide, recommendations to update 45 fees will assist with the city's cost recovery, as well as the consolidation of some current fees for simplicity and alignment with our competitors. This will also help support customer expectations. To better streamline our service offerings, there is a recommendation to remove 31 fees. And in addition, we have 10 fees to revise some description terminology to better reflect the services delivered. Details of all fee updates are listed in the report's appendices 1 through 4. What impact does this have on the city financially? We've summarized an estimated revenue increase for 2026 for each of the departments that have updates and have listed them in the chart shown. Appendix 5 of the report also provides the details. Overall, the total estimated revenue increase for 2026 would be $57,533. In summary, approving the recommended update to the 2026 rates and fees will assist us with cost recoveries, better align us with that of our competitors, generate an estimated revenue increase in 2026 of just over $57,000, but most importantly, ensure that we are continuing to meet the needs of our community. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Cynthia. Are there any questions? Mayor Cisco?
Thank you, Chair. Through you to staff. With respect to the fees to be updated, I was taking a look, and Garden City Municipal Golf Course is on there, and the 18 holes is going to be going up to $26.80 in weekday, and then weekends is going to be $33. How does that compare to any other golf course in the region? I know the CAO golfs a lot. Maybe he could.
Mr. Christie, did you know? You can,
Thank you, through Madam Chair, to the Mayor. With regards to the rates and fees that are being recommended, there was a review of comparator golf courses, and the fee is reflective of what is also charged at similar courses in the region.
So there are other courses where I could play 18 holes for $33.55? I'm looking to a golfer I know in the room who's shaking his head no.
Through Madam Chair to the Mayor, reflective of the course, like all courses are not equal, and the green fees are reflective of the different caliber of golf courses typically.
So that was actually the answer I was kind of hoping for. And then when I look at cart rentals, and I'll admit, like, I don't generally pay much attention, are those fees similar to a similar caliber course, or would those be the fees I would expect to pay elsewhere, say $20 for an 18-hole rental?
Through you, Madam Chair, to the Mayor, again, the cart fees are comparable to other courses for cart rentals.
Similar courses. Okay, and I appreciate that. And the ultimate art of don't ask a question you don't already know the answer to. I was sort of leading us in a general direction. I had a great chance to speak to my good friend, the Mayor of Brantford, last week, and we were discussing golf courses, and he talked about how they recently sold off one of their courses because it was being pretty heavily subsidized by the other course. And it got me to thinking that, we have a golf course. I think council has made a decision that they want to maintain this golf course. We don't want to get rid of it. We've had that conversation, and I'm glad we've moved past that. But now that we've made the decision that we're going to keep it, I guess the question that has come to my mind is, what are we going to do to make it better? Because right now, it does cost us a pretty significant chunk of change, and it's very much a rate-based activity. It's not something that, we necessarily want to be supporting off of the levy. So with that in mind, what can we do to improve the caliber of the course so that we could charge, more, trying to think what the word I'm looking for is, more market comparable greens fees and rentals, et cetera. I realize that this is maybe only tangentially related to the rates and fees discussion, but approving the rates and fees and recognizing that these costs are significantly lower than anywhere else I would try to golf in the region, what can we be doing? And is this something we should be asking for, perhaps under report requests, maybe a report back on options? I'm just wondering if maybe the CAO can give some guidance.
Through the chair, Madam Chair, to the Mayor, I think there's a few things to consider. The first being the course is considered an executive, meaning it's not a full par 72 for yardage, so you can't necessarily compare it to a full-size golf course.
I wasn't comparing it to Legends.
Yes.
Yeah.
The course itself, in terms of the ground maintenance, is on par with most of the courses in the region, so it's a function of the length. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest challenge we run into right now, quite honestly, is the facilities. We would want to improve facilities specifically, and we have a challenge with water. So right now we are using municipal water to sort of irrigate the golf course, which creates a challenge in midsummer. So a lot of those items contribute to what you can charge for the use of the course. So it would be facilities and some of those other elements. I know Director Christie or may have some additional insights. It would be significant, though, in terms of capital expenditures, to try to get it to a point where, the cost-benefit analysis of do the facilities and what we could theoretically charge sort of work. But I'll pass it over to Mr. Christie.
I feel like my difficult questions always wind up being posed towards Mr. Christie.
Yeah, I can defer to Director Christie. I can say that interdepartmentally, we're looking at a number of things with respect to the facilities that are there. We don't have this information available yet, as well as the ease of accessing registration. So in looking at some of the systems we use elsewhere to make it easier for the patrons of that facility, that work is underway right now, but we don't have any recommendations available at this time.
If I could add to that, through you, Madam Chair. So years ago, Mr. Mayor, we did do a study on the golf course, and we spoke specifically with the owners of Brock Golfland, and they had recommended to us, to CAO Oak's point, to improve our offerings at the clubhouse. Better food, better facilities, and actually, Director Martucci's team is in the process of upgrading the clubhouse this year or next. So we're kind of on the way there, but I think the one thing that we could possibly do in the short term is to increase volume at the course to generate revenue. I know that wasn't your question, but I think given what we have, the length of the course, the quality of play, the pace of play, the course is busy, but we could probably do a better job of marketing it for midday use.
So can I ask, what sort of capacity usage, that's the number we always use for other recreational facilities, what sort of capacity usage do we have at the golf course right now?
Through the chair, I don't have those stats, but we could come back to this group with that.
And then as a follow-up to that, how much does volume of use change the overall cost of operating the course? It seems to me like
Does it?
this is it. It seems like it's kind of like a pipe in the ground that's carrying water. It can carry 6 ounces or it can carry 6,000 gallons. It's still going to be there.
Yeah, through the chair, in theory, you could sell more concessions. You wouldn't have to water the course anymore. You wouldn't have to cut the grass anymore. The maintenance of the course shouldn't change. The day-to-day operations shouldn't change. It's about deriving additional revenue from additional use.
Now, I would say if most of those new golfers are like Mr. Oakes, you'd probably have to repair a lot more divots, but I mean, beyond that. Okay, no, I appreciate that, and maybe that's the direction that I'd like to see us go. I know in other municipalities, golf courses can be revenue generators, and they're net positives to the books. In my time here, 15 years, it's never been the case with municipal, but the people who play it seem to like it, and if it's significantly lower cost, even if it is a shorter course, and it is definitely a shorter course, but at a significantly lower cost, it's an affordable option for people. So I realize I kind of went sideways off of the rates and fees a little bit there, Chair, and I appreciate the indulgence, but perhaps, just looking to Mr. Christie, what you just described, is that something that I would need to ask for a report on? No, just.
Through the chair, we'll take it as direction.
Take his direction. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Phillips?
Yeah, just briefly, as far as the golf course is concerned, it is what it is. It's not a regulation golf course. It doesn't have any par fives. Serious golfers don't play that course. Seniors do because it's walkable in many cases. Grandparents, parents take their kids there. It can't host tournaments, which is a real generator of revenue because you don't have a clubhouse that's going to, and you're not going to get tournaments there very often at all because, again, it's not a legit golf course type of thing if you want, as far as in our Royal Canadian Golf Association golf course. We have a lot of people very complimentary about the course, and they like it because it's in town, they don't have to drive out of town, and it is cheap. And as far as cost is concerned, it's cheaper than most because, again, it's not a regular golf course or a regulation golf course. As far as revenue generating things and recreation is concerned, we don't have too many things that are revenue positive as far as recreation is concerned, and that's no reflection on staff at all. We provide a program for, look at the Kiwanis Aquatic Center. We lose money there every year, but it's one of our premier facilities. Our arenas lose money, but we provide a program for them. So that's what this golf course does. And to enhance it, I don't know what you're going to do. You're not going to put any par 5 holes in there, that's for sure, because it's landlocked. But it is what it is. The only option is to get rid of it, and I certainly wouldn't support that at all, because what are you going to do with it? You can't turn it into housing because, face it, it does have a nickname. The nickname is the dump, right? So, and for good reason. So you're going to turn it into a park? Well, I don't think we want to turn it into a park. So I'd support keeping it, and it is what it is.
Thank you, Councillor Phillips. Councillor Stevens?
Thank you, Chair. Actually, I wasn't going to say anything about the golf course, but to go along with Councillor Phillips, maybe it needs a name change because everybody I know, where are you going golfing? We're going to the dump. And I hate to say that, but that just seems to be the name of it. But that's not my question or anything. Just to get me up to date, and just a question on these rates and fees for the golf course example, any of them. When you have your 2026 approved fee before surcharges with sales tax, and does everything have a surcharge tax attached to it, or is it only certain things? Just clarification on that for me.
Through you, Madam Chair, to the councillor, there are certain types of fees that have surcharges. The golf course, ice rental, we have the ice rental resurfacing fee that's charged there. Lifeguarding, there is to swimming lessons, there is a lifeguarding surcharge that are added. With regards to HST, it depends on the type of service. Certain youth services are exempt of HST. Other items are subject to HST. So it is detailed in the full volume of the city's rates and fees that whether or not taxes are applicable.
Okay, so like I'm looking at page 8 there, the golf course one, just the second line, green fees, weekly per round, approved 2670 before surcharges. So is there a surcharge added to that when someone's paying to go golfing? Or because it says with tax, so are they paying 2670? I can go golf 18 holes. Just clarify it for me, please.
You're just looking it up.
I should have gave you a warning. I was going to ask that. Sorry.
Councillor Stevens, do you have another question while she's looking
No,
up the
that's
information?
everything.
That's the
Okay,
only
thanks, yeah.
question? Okay. Just give her a moment then.
I guess, sorry, Chair. My question is just for clarification, even for the, the residents of the city, just so they don't know, like there's no hidden tax. If they see that 2670 and it says tax in, or they're assuming they're going to pay that, or is there a surcharge when they get there? I think that's all I wanted to clarify how that works, so.
With your indulgence, while we're waiting for Christine to look up that information, I just have, I'm not sure whether this is a general question, but I would like to ask the CAO about tariffs, how we might find that, if there's information you have on how, moving forward, they're going to be affecting our budget.
Through Madam Chair to yourself. Right now, we're monitoring the tariffs. We don't, at this time, we haven't anticipated any significant changes to the budget, but that would be part of the reconfirmation process. So where we are seeing some potential increases are on fleet vehicles and anything of that nature. But we are monitoring it and we'll be tracking it through the budget process as we bring it forward.
Thank you for that. Just a quick question, looking to the directors, would any of them have an answer for this question?
I'll take a stab at it through you, Madam Chair. I don't believe there are surcharges at the golf course, so I'm basing my answer on the fact that I play in the Hackers League, and the rate that I see here is what I pay. So I don't think there are additional charges.
Thank you.
And the chart does show inclusive of taxes, so I'm guessing that that would be the case, that there are no surcharges.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Stevens is satisfied with that, so seeing no other questions, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Phillips, and seconding Councillor Stevens.
Just waiting for the system to enter into voting mode here. 1 second. Councillor Phillips,
Yes.
Councillor Stevens,
Yes.
Councillor Ratzlaff,
Yes.
Mayor Cisco,
Yes.
Councillor McPherson,
Yes.
and Chair Dodge,
Yes.
and that's carried.
So item number 11, motions, and there are none. Moving on to item 12, call for notice of motions to be discussed at the next meeting. No motions have been submitted. Are there any notices of motion for the next September meeting for the budget? Okay. Moving on to item number 13, report requests. I'm going to look to Mayor Cisco. At this time, would you like to make any motion? No? Okay. And item number 14, closed session, and there's no closed session. So item number 15, motions arising from closed session, there are none. So can I please have adjournment? Can I have a mover? Councillor McPherson. And can I have a seconder? Councillor Stevens. And then that's just a show of hands. Thank you, that's carried. Thank you, everyone, for coming.